Don't bother me unless it's an emergency. This morning I got into my car and realized I left my headlights on. Thankfully, modern technology meant it had automatically switched off when the key was removed. But it reminded me of a time where that wasn't so. Many years ago, I was working one of my first jobs in a little cafe. Nearing the end of my training period, it was a quiet day, perfect to put the newbie on with only one experienced staff member. The experienced staff member called in sick. Boss had to come in and cover until Sue could come in early. Boss wanted to use the time on site to do paperwork out the back. I'll be in here if you have any questions. I very annoyingly had a lot of questions. How to avoid an incorrect transaction. Where to find more special paper for the credit card machine. What to do when the coffee grinder stopped working. Finally boss said, "I'm busy. Don't bother me unless it's an emergency. Let me know when Sue is here." Shyly I replied, "That's what I came to tell you. Sue just arrived." "Great. Any more questions, ask her." Sue took over the coffee area and got me on restocking, clearing tables, and emptying the bins, and other necessary grunt work. I went out to the outside bins through the little staff parking area and saw my boss's old car there with the headlights still on. I went back to my boss's office. "Boss, is it an emergency?" Boss snapped. "Not to me," I replied. "Then go away." Quote, I left quickly. I went to tell Sue instead. Sue. Then I changed my mind. Boss doesn't want to be disturbed. Unless it's an emergency. So I'm supposed to ask you if I have more questions. Sue and I worked pleasantly until the end of my shift a few hours later. As I gathered my things to leave, boss ran by me, knocking into me a bit. Without turning around to see if I was okay, boss said, "Sorry, I'm in a rush." I slowed down to see what happened next. Getting out my brick of a phone to text my mother I was on my way home. I could hear my boss swearing. Quote, "Oh no." Boss realized that was what I was going to tell them earlier. I was in trouble. "Can you bring your car in and give me a jump start? My battery is flat. Only a few cars could fit. So only senior staff and management could park there. I walked here. I live 10 minutes walk up the hill." I raced off before my boss could blame me. The next time I was on shift with Sue, I asked what happened to boss. Headlights left on. Got a flat battery. Boss tried to jump start it with my car, but it didn't work. Had to call a taxi. Funny that neither of us noticed the lights were on when we walked by it. And I realized, of course, she had to have seen it when she walked in. I can only imagine why she didn't say anything either. You followed the boss's instructions perfectly. It wasn't an emergency to you and he didn't want to be bothered. Job well done by you. Does she know? She knows. Getting out my brick of a phone to text my mother I was on my way home. They had text messaging during the era of brick phones? I see the creative minds of writing prompts have found this place. And I realized, of course, she had to have seen it when she walked in, lol. Nice MC, but saying flat battery is driving me crazy. It's a dead battery. I wonder if that's a regional colloquialism like pop instead of soda.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.